What if I told you that Imani Bates, yes, you heard me right, Imani Bates, was one of the best high school basketball players in the class of 2021. It was ranked the number 3rd recruit in the class of 2021. It was one of the best basketball players in high school in the last decade. With all this attention and hype, nothing can go wrong, right? In 7th grade, Imani Bates was about 6'5" in just the 7th grade. That's crazy. People were comparing him to Kevin Durant, and they already knew that once he was in high school, he was going to be the next generational prospect for the NBA. By the time Imani Bates was in high school and it was his first debut game, he was so dominant and so good. You know what? I'm going to let y'all watch these highlights real quick. Is there much more to say about him? Throughout Imani Bates' freshman year of high school, he averaged 28 points, 10 rebounds, won the Michigan Player of the Year, and also won the Division I Player of the Year. In the very next year, he averaged 32 points and 15 rebounds as a sophomore in high school, and also won the National Gatorade Player of the Year. He was basically the only one that won a National Gatorade Player of the Year. Basically, Imani Bates had success on the court and off the court since all the hype was coming to him, and nobody thought that his plan was going to go to a waste and he's going to be on a downfall. Or can he? For his junior year of high school, Imani Bates transferred to Ypsi Prep in Ypsilanti, Michigan. And this was a weird move because his dad was the one that made the prep school. His stats dropped throughout that year, and also he fell off of the radar a little bit. But it didn't matter because he was still playing decent for Ypsi Prep. And this gets more weirder because before his senior year of high school, he reclassed up from 2022 to the class of 2021, meaning that he basically just skipped his senior year and now is eligible to play for college. However, he never committed to a school beforehand, but eventually he finally committed to the University of Memphis, where he would play for the next year. With the Memphis Tigers, he has averaged 9.7 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game. His shooting splits were atrocious because he has shot a field goal of 38%, and his 3-point percentage was not the best at 32.9%. His draft stock started to drop really quickly, and his hype was starting to diminish. But this was just the beginning of his biggest downfall that he has ever seen in his life. After that season, Imani Bates ended up being in the transfer portal and later signed with Eastern Michigan, a smaller D1 program in his hometown. But things ended up taking a turn for him because he ended up getting suspended from Eastern Michigan after being found with a gun with altered ID marks. But eventually his charges ended up being dropped, and Eastern Michigan decided to take him back afterwards. Even although he was playing with a smaller D1 program that hasn't made it to the NCAA tournament since 1998, we all know how good he was, and we finally saw a true glimpse of him.
He's still there. Step back, look out.
Imani Bates for that season averaged 20 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and assists per game. Even although Imani Bates was doing pretty good at Eastern Michigan and gained hype from fans and all of that, his one goal was still to get to the NBA. But however, some people thought he was not going to get drafted at all. Some people think he's going to be an early to late second round pick, and most people just doubt to even think that Imani Bates will ever make it to the NBA. Eventually, the Cavaliers will take him with the 49th pick in the NBA draft and draft him in the second round. The Cavs basically just got a steal of the draft because he was 6'9" and he can play like a guard. People doubted that Imani Bates could really do anything in the summer league, basically because he was a almost late second round pick, and people thought that he was gonna look like a bust and all that. However, he proved us all wrong again.
Maybe so.
Nothing pretty here so far. Bates tried when he's in a room, no matter who's in there. You just got on our Australian friend. It's in wrap. Just we were talking about the called. Okay, actually pushes. Merrill passed on the shot to Bates. Chandler pressed the other way. Bates got a hand on that.
So what do y'all think about Imani Bates? Do you think he's really good enough to get a starting spot in this next season, or do you think he's ending up a bust and not be able to play the same like he is in the summer league and in college? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you later.